started 20 or so years ago when my mom met my dad, and they fell in love and they had 3 amazing children. 2 boys, 1 girl, obviously one being the favorite and the best. They both grew up in a small town only 4 grade levels apart, both from very different income levels, one living in the country, one living in town. Both polar opposites who found a way to make it work with one another. My parents are both from the same town, and something they liked to do outside of school was play sand volleyball against one another. In school, my mom was always known as a very introverted person, pretty nerdy, a geek. She was in band, sports, had straight A's, and she was second of her class out of 178 people. My dad, on the other hand, was nowhere near a straight A student, had a disgusting trendy mullet, was super outgoing and was heavily involved in sports, and was always known to have a girlfriend. One time, when my parents were playing sand volleyball together, my dad was on the market, and he decided to shoot a shot, literally right at my mom's face with the volleyball. Bloody nose and all, he took this opportunity to ask her out to the movies. If you know my mom, you know she's deathly afraid of snakes. So what not a perfect idea to bring her to her first Anaconda movie in the theaters as their first date. After the movie was done, my dad brought my mom home as she was unable to drive yet and then ghosted her for 2 weeks. Young love. After 2 weeks, they became inseparable and they've been together for 22 years. My parents are devoting, motivational, and the most entertaining role models us kids could ever ask for. My parents are always willing to give up their time not only for us, but for others. They are always willing to give out a helping hand without expecting anything in return. My parents have shown us a great way to live a successful life by showing us how to balance a hectic work schedule, a hectic life, and still being able to attend all of their kids' sporting events. One memory I have is when I was playing in the section tournament for tennis 3 years ago. Both of my parents had work and they tried getting it off and they couldn't. Ever since that day, they had promised me that they would never miss another sporting event for me, and they haven't. This just goes to show me that my parents are devoted to their kids' lives while also being devoted to work, as they did have to work that day too. Still, my parents are willing to take off days of work when us siblings are homesick, we need a little lunch for a pick-me-up day, or we just have a doctor's appointment. This just goes to set a great example of how my parents are always going to be there for us and how they are devoted to not only their work, their life, but also to their kids' lives. Motivational. When I think of the word motivational, I think of things that people say in order to get somebody to do something. Like I explained earlier, both of my parents are 2 polar opposites, so motivational looks very different to both of them. For my mom writes us note cards every single day, and in 7th grade to 9th grade, I got a note card every single day of the school year. Now it has changed into a note card for a sporting event because these note cards are filled with inspirational words or quotes that my mom sees us athletes through or as people through her eyes. I recently started getting the word breathe on my quotes as a way to just take everything in as my last senior year. And because of what my mom said, and a deeper meaning, but we won't get into that because this isn't my speech, I got a tattoo about it. Now my dad, on the other hand, he's a man of few words. And when I mean few words, I mean very few words. And so his motivation looks very different, but since I'm the favorite child, I probably get more words of motivation than my brothers do. I did call him out on this at one point, and he has gotten a lot better about it, but my parents are always willing to give any words of encouraging advice to us kids in order for us to be as successful as we can. When it comes to humor, my family is big with humor. I would say the funniest person in my family is definitely my dad. He's the man. Whether it comes to us laughing at him by awkwardly standing in a group, him accidentally thinking there was another step on the dock and walking right off into the water, him just saying a joke that is nowhere funny, or him just saying something super out of pocket. If you know anything about me, I'm pretty well known for my dad jokes, so I guess I can say thank you to him. My mom, she likes to think that she is the second funniest of the family, but I definitely think that I'm the second funniest of the family and rank up there, and she's probably at the bottom. When my brother left for college, it was super upsetting for my parents, but when I leave for college, it's going to be super sad because their life is going to be so boring without me. Nobody's going to make them laugh anymore. My dad is always filling each and every sentence that he says with a joke, whether it's something that's funny or something that you just sit there for 10 seconds and just laugh along with him. My family is always known to say in every sentence that we say to have a joke in it, so honestly, don't take anything that we say seriously. During this speech, I hope you can see the love my parents have for one another and the traits that stick out to us kids most. The love that my parents have for one another shows me that love is strong and powerful. My parents have done a very good job into making us the people that we are today, and I would say they did an okay-ish job on my brothers, but they nailed it on the girl. Congratulations, Mom and Dad, on your 22nd anniversary.